6 weeks ago, we launched we had an Easter service, our biggest Easter service since I've been pastor, which is 2 years. And, we had 800 the previous year, and this last year, we just, as a staff, we met together and we said, you know what, we believe God wants to do above and beyond, and we were kind of in a obviously newer in the transition, so things were different. So this year we seen 1,200 people come through the doors, and we launched that Saturday night with 225 in attendance. Now, we knew a Saturday night would work on a holiday because we had done it before, and we had 150 on Christmas Eve one year. So we were hopeful that this Saturday night would really explode, or really take root. But since Easter, we've experienced a steady decline in our attendance each week, and then also putting a tax on our visioneer, but especially our worship. We're fortunate enough to have the worship leaders. These guys are actually from other congregations and other churches helping us out. But I began to realize how important that this worship piece has to be in place before we begin to expand and take bigger steps. So we started seeing decline. We said 225, 125. I was like, good, we can do something with 225. And then the Warriors made the playoff, and the next week we had 60. There wasn't a man in the building. Then the next week there was another 60, and it's, to be honest with you, it's not about numbers, but you do need people in the building if you're going to get some momentum. And you need not only people in the building, but you also need fresh visioneers. And I love our visioneers. I love Michael Melgoza and all of our regular volunteers. But I started seeing the same faces on Saturday and Sunday. How that's a recipe for burnout. And so, again, these are things that I just started taking note of, right? And then after last week, I just pulled the staff aside and I said, hey, we took a risk, but I feel like, and this is what I feel like, and I'm just being honest and transparent. Is that all right? I feel like if we continue, we're going to put our church at risk even more. And so we kind of came together, we talked, we went back and forth, and we have just made note of several important factors, and we've learned a lot. Again, this isn't the first rodeo for Real Life Church, and so people like Pastor Jesse, who's been here 12 years, and others who've been here longer than I have, they said, we've done this before, but one of the things that we didn't do was we let it go too long, and then all of a sudden the morale was down and that kind of thing, and so I didn't want to risk continuing a Saturday night service going into the summer. And so we're actually, tonight is going to be the last Saturday night as we head into the summer. You guys all right? I know that's disappointing because we have guests. It's so disappointing because tonight, the first person I walked in, he says, I'm so glad we're doing Saturday nights. I was like, hey, I got something to tell you. Here, come over here. Let me tell you first. Let me be the first one to tell you. And I know we have guests that have come from other churches looking for a Saturday night. This does not mean we're not going to do a third service in the future. What it means is I want to gear up better. We can do a better job. I can do a better job of knowing what we need before, I lose all credibility with you because I drew it out too long. So we've taken some notes, some things, and we're going to come back and relook at some things right now we are bouncing between 750 and 800 on Sunday mornings, and it goes anywhere from 700 to 800, and we really need to be. We've added more chairs. You probably noticed people have come to me the last few weeks and said, "Hey, are people leaving the church?" I'm saying, "What do you mean?" They don't know we added seats. So we've added like 80 chairs, so there's like holes again. And so I'm like, no, we added 75 chairs. Adam is actually, he's recently, I said a couple months ago, he equipped this room for an overflow area. So there's some things that we can do if we continue to bust at the seams in the summer to hold the growth. But I just wanted to, and then the biggest piece, and I'm going to share, I do have a word for us, and I won't keep you because I smell those burgers and dogs, all right? But I do really believe the biggest piece of all this is the worship piece. And this team is incredible. Walt, Greg, all the people that are involved. But when we went to 2 nights, it was like it stretched them. They have full-time jobs. They don't work here full-time. And I just realized to continue to that, I was going to put them in jeopardy. And then I'm hoping and praying, who can we get on Saturday? Unfortunately, we've had some great worship on Saturday, but going into the summer, that wasn't guaranteed. So with that said, I just want to apologize up front for any inconvenience that this may cause. But as a staff, again, there was a greater risk to negatively impact our staff and our church if we continued to move forward in the summer without acknowledging some of the red flags that I'm seeing in the last 6 weeks.